Hey y'all. So just a real simple review here. Now I'm going to start this off with the following. I am 51 years old. I have spinal damage, nerve damage in my legs. I'm fit for the military. Never served in the military. So getting that right off the bat. This ain't about none of that mess. This is just about a guy who's happened to be a big historian, nut, love history. So this is about evolution, in my opinion. And I think it's going to come back. So what I have here is, this is made by J.J. Abrecken. And this is what you could see in the British military. Okay, if I remember right, this is called a HIPAA belt. It's Molly. Molly's all over this darn thing. And the harness is called a yoke. If you're not into chest rigs, I think the British has everybody beat hands down as far as like a LBE kind of setup. Now, there's no pouches or anything on this. Everything's stripped because I just wanted to show this. But I love this thing. Now, as you can see, it's in excellent condition. Why? Because I don't get to use it much. I don't have a place that I can put this on and use it. If I was to use it, I would use it hiking for health, camping for fun, and airsoft, which in my neck of the woods, I hate to say it, but in my neck of the woods, Old North State, any of you airsofters in my neck of the woods, give me a shout out. I'd like to know how to get involved in it, okay? So anyways, excellent piece of kit. Now, we'll take this off. So what's this got to do what the video is about? Well, we saw what the boys across the pond does. So now we're going to see what we used to do. This is a picture of a cousin of mine. Let's see if you can see that very well. But he was a pig man, meaning he operated an M60. He graduated from the United States Army, Fort Benning, Georgia in 1981. So I've been picking his brain, trying to learn how their setup was. Now you have to understand, this is one man, not an entire army, and everybody's different in these things. You know, the SOP is different from who to who to who to, you know, from division and all that mess. And no, once again, not expert on nothing, okay? But I've always loved A.L.I.C.E gear. As you can see here, this is A.L.I.C.E gear, okay? To give you some kind of background, when he graduated, he actually graduated with OD green uniforms, okay? So that's pretty cool. So I wanted A.L.I.C.E gear, and I looked and I looked and I looked, and every place I went to, it was wore out, it was bad condition, it was in good condition, but it was not in new condition, and I wanted new. And lo and behold, I found on eBay a brand new LBE harness, belt, canteen, and the ammo pouches. Now, I have based this off of the information I got from a family member. Okay. First, his harness was a H, not a Y. This is a Y. Okay. Everything on here looks like it was never worn. I mean, it's brand new. Now the first thing I did, I followed his. Now notice, is nothing's rolled up and taped and all that stuff. I don't, you know. Once again, it's not for that. Okay, it's for, I'm gonna hopefully get a display up and just have that displayed. So the first thing he told me was, put your belt on, and I don't even think this is still properly sized to me. don't think I've done it right. But it also might be because I'm too fat. But anyhow, he said, put your belt on, and he said, you gotta, like anything else in life, you gotta balance it. So he said the way he did it was he put his canteens like on the hips. Okay, so this would be like a 3 o'clock. This would be the 9 o'clock, and then he put the magazines here. And of course, the suspenders he hooked to the magazine pouches where they got the suspension loops. Well, you can go on YouTube and see a lot of guys doing better than me on this stuff. Now on the back, you'll note there's nothing there. The reason why there's nothing there, because I'm trying to build this the way he did it. Butt packs. He said they were cumbersome, aggravating to deal with. He didn't like it, so he didn't have that. He also didn't like a lot of stuff around his back. Okay. If he needed something, it usually was in his pack. Now I don't have one. It was usually in his pack. Okay, so let's get right off the bat. Once again, everybody's different. I asked him about his SOP, and he said it was pretty basic. You know, you got your canteens, you got your magazine pouches, you got all that, and I forgot to get them. I got them in the closet here, but I ain't gonna worry with that. And you got the little field aid pouches. So the other thing that he said was he had medical pouches. And a medical pouch, he said he had it on, you know, on the side here. So as far as like the family member that I'm speaking of, he went very, very minimal on his belt. But he also said too that, you know, his job was an M60. His job wasn't a rifle. And so he's saying that it was different because you were dealing with the M60. Okay. Now he did say if he had more M16 pouches, then the canteens would go back. They would go up there, so you'd have 4 M16 pouches, and they wouldn't all have ammo in it. He would sometimes, like, you know, do other things. The canteens I have are nice. The pouch, the water bottles are nice. They don't have the stove though. I wish they did. I asked him, did both his pouches, his canteen pouches, have the kidneys? He said yes. He said he kept both with kidneys, and he had a stove. So it's just really simple little thing, but I think something like this is going to come back to our military. I think we're going to see a return of the belt, and the reason why I think that is because chest rigs, I don't know. I just think that, you know, once again, the circle rotates back around. I don't have any hard evidence, anything to really base it on, other than I think the Marine Corps is going to go back to some type of A.L.I.C.E. It might be they'll take a playbook out of the British, which if they do, that's a smart idea. Because, I mean, these guys have really got it mastered down. This is very comfortable. Distributes weight very well. You know, you can run your bladder. You can run your pouches for whatever. I think that our military, I think the Marine Corps, we'll see it in the Marine Corps, that they're going to go back to an A.L.I.C.E. rig kind of setup. Will it be for everything? I don't believe so. But for a general purpose, like going to give this to everybody, all the guys, not the cool kids in the block, this is fantastic. I mean, I missed my old A.L.I.C.E. gear. I had that years ago, and I wish I had the whole thing back again. I really enjoyed putting this back together again because it reminded me of learning from my family, and it reminded me because I used to go camping with them all the time, and you know, these guys that are family of mine, I mean, they were like, "Hey, man, you know, let's go. Grab something. Grab some bread. Grab some hot dogs." You know, we used to mess around with the gear, and they used to teach me all kinds of stuff that I've forgotten. But really do enjoy this. I will have to say, between the two, if someone said, "Alan, you know, your old fat broke butt's got to go and do the G.I. Joe," I'd rather take this. Okay. Not hating on the American side. It's just the British were smart, and they never got rid of a load bearing system like this. Whereas in our world, we've gone with this line 1 and line 2 and line 3 and the line 4 plus 2, 3. I think it's ridiculous, especially on the grounds of you don't really need all that. That's my opinion. Your mileage may vary, but I don't think you need all that. You know, I think you need the beans, bullets, band-aids kind of philosophy. You guys chime in that have done a lot more. Please do. I'm all about learning. That's just my opinion. Okay, maybe I'm not seeing what other people see, but I would prefer to carry this. Definitely carry this. But it's something nostalgic, and it's something kind of basic that when you put it on, it makes a lot of sense. You know, like no, is it high speed stuff? Are we high speed in here? We got our line belt and our holster, you know, with our pistol, which is another thought too. Which do you really need a pistol? And I don't think you do. I think a rifle is a hell of a lot more convenient. And this thing about I'm going to shoot drill and I'm going to draw my handgun, I'd rather just put another magazine in the gun. Now, you know, we can all talk about, well, the what ifs of things, but I'd rather, me personally, be concerned about one weapon that I'm dealing with rather than another weapon. Okay? That's just me. But this is an excellent piece of kit, and the cool thing is, the great thing about this kind of stuff is it's so durable, and it's really forward thinking of its time that even today it still can be applied. And I got this whole setup on eBay. Got the whole setup, the belt, the 2 canteens, the pouches, the kidney cups, and the magazine pouches, and the first aid pouches, the small ones. They got the whole setup for less than $70. So by the time I paid for it and the shipping and all that, it was about $70. But I think that's a great deal, man. You know, especially like if I was lucky enough to get in with some airsoft guys around my neck of the woods, this is what I'd probably carry. You know, this is perfect for a day in the field airsofting. Now other folks say, well, you're going to be slow. I don't know about that, but they may have opinions on speed too, which I think speed is only relevant in certain aspects. I think we spend too much time speed on a timer. You know what I'm saying? Like, whoa, I want to see what my split times are. In a gunfight, in a real deal, you don't give a shit about the split times. That's for baseball, football, competition shooters. I think we're getting too much into the competition shooting side of that versus, you know, if it was a real thing. Okay, and of course, and now here I go into the rabbit hole again, you know. But anyways, if you get a chance to get some of this old gear, talk to some of these guys, talk to some of these old vets, and find out how they rig their stuff up and their SOP. And yeah, I'd love to get up with some guys that airsoft, because I would love to put this in the field, or I'd love to put that in the field up against another airsoft team. I bet that would be a blast. But anyway, man, old school, ain't new school, and new school ain't old school. And I think this school is going to return back to the military. I think the Marine Corps is going to pick it up first. That's just my opinion, due to the fact that, you know, the commandant of the Marine Corps a couple of years ago was talking about how the mission of the Marine Corps has been the mission of the Marine Corps has not been what the mission statement is since the global war on terror, GWAT. Everybody GWAT, but I'll say whatever, global war on terror. So I think that he's going to go back to light, fast, hit hard, hold, be relieved, and go off and do something else. I just think certain elements of our military is going to go back to A.L.I.C.E, or not A.L.I.C.E, but let's say 2022 Mali A.L.I.C.E 2.0 kind of thing. I think it's going to come back. Now, like for me, with my injuries, with my spine, if I put this on, and let's say I got to be out there for 12 hours, I honestly think I'll be fine. I don't think I'll have any problem, because what I would want to put on this belt is very simple. Depending on what I'm supposed to be doing, it's still going to be boiling down to beans, bullets, and band-aids, right? So I would want to take a I've got it over here so I can warm with it. I would want to take a medical bag and put that probably like left or right side, whichever. And I would probably want to take, if I'm going to have to be out there and I got to feed myself, then I'd want a utility bag that has my stove and my food and stuff like that. But you know, notice now I don't have nothing strapped up, nothing tied up. I just put it together, and I don't feel like I even got this harness and belt correct. But anyhow, the only negative that I have come across so far is I did this sucker right here, which goes on your belt here. Okay, it goes. It goes on your belt here. If you notice, it's made to clamp down. Well, this sucker broke off. This sucker broke off. And I'm still trying to get the damn thing to work, and it ain't. So that might be the one negative about buying any gear like this, which is, you know, you break it, you can't get it, you can't find the part for it or whatever. But even without that, so far, you know, it's been holding up really good. Now, yeah, I haven't abused it, and I really don't. Like I said, if I don't have a place to like airsoft this thing, then I guess I ain't gonna get abused. But my goal is to just display this, just deck it out, you know. But if you got any ideas about getting A.L.I.C.E gear, I wouldn't hesitate. There's a nostalgia to it, and there's a fun part to it too. There's just a fun part about wearing A.L.I.C.E gear, and I think that it's coming. It will come back. Everything comes back in full circle. Old ain't new, and new ain't old. Be back directly, y'all.